My name is Katie, and I'm a nurse. My husband, Jack, is a full-time househusband now. He used to work for a company, but he quit because he didn't get along with his new boss. When Jack told me he quit, I was angry because he didn't talk to me about it first, but I tried to think positively and figured it was better that he quit before he got too stressed. Even though Jack isn't working now, I have a steady job as a nurse, and the house we live in was given to me by my mom, who passed away a few years ago, so we don't have to pay rent and are doing fine financially. At first, I was worried and stressed about Jack not working, but he was doing a good job with the housework, and I started getting used to the situation and even enjoying it. One day, I came home from work to find Jack's sister, Brittany, visiting. "Welcome home, hope you had a great day at work," Jack said. "Oh, I forgot to tell you Brittany was coming over, sorry about that." I was a bit annoyed, but seeing Jack so cheerful made me feel better. "It's okay, but next time, please let me know beforehand," I said. Jack promised to do that and told Brittany it was time for her to leave. Brittany didn't want to leave and said, "I'd like to stay the night. This house is so big and nice." Jack quickly said, "No, it's too sudden, Brittany, please go home today." Brittany left, looking angry, and I asked Jack, "Why did Brittany come over today? She lives so far away." Brittany had recently gotten a divorce and didn't have a place to stay, so she was living with our parents, but their apartment was small, and they were pressuring her to find a job and contribute money, so she wasn't feeling welcome. I felt bad for her. Jack explained, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to be alone. I let Brittany in because I needed someone to talk to." I was upset with Jack, but I understood he needed support. "Okay, but next time, call me first and make sure she leaves before I get home," I said. 2 days later, Jack texted me while I was at work, "Brittany wants to come over again. I'll make sure she leaves before 9 p.m., like you asked." I didn't want Brittany over again so soon, but Jack seemed happy, so I agreed, "Fine, but make sure she leaves on time." When I came home, Brittany was still there. "Why is she still here?" I asked. Jack immediately apologized. "I'm sorry, I got carried away talking to her. She'll leave now." Brittany packed up, looking annoyed, and left. I didn't like her attitude and said, "She's acting like this is her house, doesn't she have any manners?" Jack defended her, "She came all this way just to talk to me." I thought they could have met somewhere else, but I was too tired to argue. "Sorry, I'm just tired, I'm going to bed now." Jack seemed like he wanted to say more, but I was already heading to bed. The next day, I had the day off and was relaxing at home when Jack said, "I'm sorry about yesterday." After thinking it over, I realized I was wrong. I wanted you and Brittany to get along, but the timing was off. I realized I hadn't had much time to talk to Jack lately, and I understood how much he wanted us to get along. I said, "I see, I've been so busy, I haven't made time for us. I said too much yesterday, I'm sorry." Jack was happy we could talk it out. He smiled and said, "Okay, I'll make your favorite, meatball pasta, it's coming right up." He started cooking, but then his phone rang. "Who's calling?" I asked. Jack replied, "Oh, it's Brittany, I wonder what she wants." I had a bad feeling and didn't want him to pick it up, but I said, "Maybe it's something urgent." Jack picked up the phone, and although I couldn't hear what Brittany was saying, the call ended quickly. "So, what did Brittany want?" I asked. Jack said, "She wants to tell me something, so she's coming over." I didn't understand why I had to see her on my day off, and I felt annoyed, but since she was already on her way, I didn't say anything. Jack happily said, "I'll make pasta for Brittany too," and kept cooking. He didn't notice that I was upset, and I couldn't understand why he didn't tell her no, but I decided this might be my chance to talk to her myself. About 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Since Brittany lived far away, I didn't expect her to show up so soon, but when I opened the door, it was Brittany. She had big luggage with her, and I instantly felt uneasy, but I let her in. Jack was still cooking, so I asked Brittany, "What happened?" She looked like she had been crying and said, "I got kicked out of my parents' place. They said I can't stay with them because I'm not working. They're horrible, right?" My bad feeling was getting worse as I listened to her. Jack overheard and said, "That's awful. Family is supposed to help each other. They're terrible parents." I was really upset by what Jack said, but since it wasn't my place to say anything, I kept quiet and listened. Brittany said, "I have nowhere to go, so I need to stay here." I really didn't want Brittany to stay with us, and I was about to say something, but before I could, Jack said. Well, if that's the case, she'll have to stay here. We have a spare room, so she can stay with us from today. I gave Jack a glare, and he said, "Why are you looking at me like that? Brittany needs help." I couldn't take it anymore and said, "What are you talking about? Don't make decisions without talking to me. You're not working, and Brittany isn't either, right? I can't support both of you on my own." Suddenly, something hit me on the head, and I didn't know what happened. Then I heard Brittany laughing and saying, "Jack, don't throw an egg at her." When I touched my hair, I realized there were eggshells in it. Jack said, "It's your fault, Mary, you need to be nicer to Brittany." Then he added, "If you keep acting like this, we'll get divorced, and if we do, you'll have to leave the house, you know?" Jack looked at me with a proud smile, and Brittany looked at me with a smug expression. They thought I was going to give in, so they asked, "Mary, are you going to apologize? Go take a shower, and then we can eat the meatball pasta Jack made and talk about how we're all going to live together." Jack happily went back to finishing lunch, and Brittany sat on the couch, relaxing and watching TV. I had a lot to say, but for now, I just grabbed Brittany's luggage and threw it off the balcony. They were shocked by what I did and asked, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" Jack panicked and told me to go get the luggage, but I said, "Why should I? This is my house. I won't let you do whatever you want anymore." Jack said, "What are you talking about? This is our house, as husband and wife. This is my house too, and I'm letting my sister stay here." I just laughed and said, "What's so funny? This house was given to me by my mom, so you have no right to it." Jack and Brittany were both surprised and said, "Wait, really? But even if that's true, since we're still married, it doesn't matter." They started mumbling, so I said, "This house is mine. If you want to live with your sister so badly, then rent a house and live with her. And why should I support two people who don't work?" I told Jack, "You used to work hard before you quit, so I didn't say anything, but lately, you're not doing any housework either. Honestly, I'd rather live alone." Jack seemed shocked by what I said and replied, "Oh, so that's what you've been thinking?" I said, "I don't want a husband who doesn't take care of the family and can't even thank me for working and supporting us." Just then, Jack pulled out a divorce paper. I thought it was strange that he had it ready, and I realized that Brittany had probably planned this all along. "I've already filled out my part, so all you have to do is fill in yours. I'll give you some time to think. When you're ready to apologize, just contact me." "Okay," they replied, and left. I quickly took a shower, signed the divorce papers, and went to submit them. I figured my husband only showed me the divorce papers to scare me, even though it was Brittany's idea. Jack went through with it, and I didn't want a husband who would do that to me. A few days later, Jack called and asked, "Are you ready to apologize?" I was so angry and didn't want to waste time on this. "Shouldn't you be the one calling me first?" I replied. Jack sounded like he was looking down on me, so I said, "What do you mean? Why am I calling you? Why should I contact you? A stranger to me now?" He didn't seem to understand the situation, so I decided to be clear. "I've already submitted the divorce papers, and it's finalized, so now we're strangers. Oh, and I sold the house. Even if you want to come back, it doesn't matter. I also quit my job and am starting fresh somewhere else. And by the way, I sent all your stuff to your parents' house. It should be arriving soon. I'm not sure, though, because their place is so small. Will everything fit?" Jack seemed confused and angry on the phone. I could hear him arguing with someone. "Anyway, you were the one who wanted a divorce, right? I have nothing more to say to you. I'm blocking you now. Goodbye." Jack yelled something, but I hung up and blocked his number. A few months later, I visited the place where I used to live. On my way home, I stopped by a supermarket and saw someone who looked like Jack working there. He seemed to have made a mistake at work, and a younger woman was telling him, "How many times do I have to explain this to you? Don't make me repeat myself." Other workers were laughing at him, and I felt a little sorry for him, but I reminded myself that he was a stranger to me now. Maybe if Jack had thought more about how to handle his sister, things wouldn't have turned out this way. But now, I'm happy I divorced him. I'm enjoying my life on my own.